All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the 2022 National Football League season has begun the same way that it ended for the Cincinnati Bengals, with quarterback Joe Burrow running for his life. Now, last season, Burrow was sacked 51 times during the regular season alone, while he picked himself up off of the canvas 19 more times in 4 playoff games last year for Cincinnati. And in those 19 sacks, he was sacked 7 times during the Rams Super Bowl loss to the Bengals Super Bowl loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, so far this season, in just 2 games, Burrow has already been sacked 13 times. And to add to that, Cincinnati is 0-2. Now, the thing is, if you want to look at Burrow's career, this guy is talented. He's one of the younger phenoms at the quarterback position in the National Football League. But at this rate, how is he going to keep it up? Because Burrow's only played 28 career games in the NFL. Already, he has been sacked 96 times. That's not going to get it done. We saw Burrow miss a good chunk of the 2020 season after he messed up his knee, came back strong last year. The Bengals had that phenomenal run that saw them just, fall short of winning the championship. And you watch that game, you had to wonder what would have happened if Joe Burrow just had a little bit more protection. The Cincinnati Bengals would probably be coming into this season as a defending Super Bowl champions, as opposed to just being the defending AFC champions. Now, this past offseason, the Bengals went out and they did make efforts to upgrade this offensive line. You signed Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa, Ted Karras, but so far it hasn't worked. I mean, Isaiah Prince is currently on IR with an elbow injury as well. And in 2 games, granted, these are two of the better pass rushes in the NFL. You think back to week number 1 with what Burrow and the Bengals had to deal with that ferocious Pittsburgh defense, and then coming back and having to deal with a guy like Micah Parsons yesterday as Cincinnati fell on the road to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, two of the better pass rushers in the NFL, but still, you can't just rest on that and say, okay, you know what, you know, we'll face a team that can't get after the quarterback like those teams can, and we'll be okay. No, you got to find a way to slide protections. You got to find a way for that offensive line, to keep Burrow upright. And it's so important for them to do so because not only Joe Burrow, but you look at the talent that Cincinnati has at the skill positions around him. Jamar Chase, in a very quick time, has become one of the top receivers in the National Football League. But, for as good as Chase is, he can't shine on that deep pass if Burrow is running for his life because the line is not giving him time. That's the key. Chase, he's not just a deep receiver. Obviously, he can go over in the middle. He can do the slant pass. He can do the out pattern. You name it. There's so much that young man can do as a receiver to ignite the Cincinnati offense. But again, the combination of Burrow and Chase can't get it done if Burrow is not being protected. Now, you look at Cincinnati right now. They're 0-2, but it's not panic time because nobody's running away with the AFC North. We saw both Baltimore and Cleveland blow big second half leads yesterday. Pittsburgh, their offense is still trying to figure it out with Mitchell Trubisky, and at some point, he will make way for the youngster at quarterback and Kenny Pickett. But nonetheless, everybody else in in that division, with the exception of Cincinnati right now, is 1-1. So if you're the Bengals, you're 1 game behind of the pack, and you have an opportunity to make it up. You got 2 games with Cleveland, you have 2 games with Baltimore, and you have one more game with Pittsburgh. But for Cincinnati, it all starts with what they do this Sunday on the road as they take on the New York Jets. Obviously, the Jets defensively are not as talented as either the Steelers or the Cowboys, but you can't just sit up there and rest on those laurels. You still got to go out there and be able to handle your business. And again, it starts with protecting Burrow. So I want to see what the Cincinnati Bengals can do in order to do that, because at the end of the day, and I can't harp on this enough, Joe Burrow's been sacked 96 times in less than 3 seasons. So you want to double that for the amount of hits that he's taken. So he's nearly taken, if you want to just base it off of that, 200 hits. How much wear and tear is this young man going to have on his body due to this by the time he reaches 30? So I think it's imperative for the Bengals to find a way. It's imperative for their head coach, Zach Taylor, to make the necessary adjustments in order to get this offense to excel. I'm not one of those people that's going to sit up here and say, hey, Cincinnati, their season last year was a fluke. I don't think it was. They were a legitimate team and they earned and deserved the right to get to the Super Bowl. They are once again a legitimate team, but it's not going to be as easy as it was before, because now everybody knows what they have to do to slow down Joe Burrow. But then on top of that, the Bengals have to be up for the challenge because everybody's going to bring their A game against them. So let's see what the Bengals can do leading into this game for the Jets. It all starts with that protection up front. And if Cincinnati can find a way to protect number 9, I think this offense will get back in rhythm. And if Burrow gets back in rhythm, look out, because the Bengals will be ready to get back on the winning track. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Dollars podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook, the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.